Autumn. 2 hours before sunset. For 6 days I'll be dropped here to test out my survival skills with very limited equipment, and the weather is about to change. Now guys, if I'm not active, I'll get really cold. Oh, that's handy. SA6 today, that's all we got. Secret needy tricks in the back here, but that's for later. Backpack full of camera gear, drone, 2 cameras, GoPro. Weather is good at the moment, but you know, this is Ireland. Before you know it, the rain comes in, so we better hurry up. Yeah, one big swampland up ahead on that side. You gotta go all around, but we're losing daylight. I think for at least an hour or so I already have been exploring around. Very swampy, very difficult terrain, very rough, not much shelter materials at hand, but time is really running out. We have to make a decision. Is this it? Folks, is this it? Oh, there are holes in it. Wet. Yeah, as it is still dry, I figured let's get fire material and get that sorted. But now the question is, do you put time in your shelter? Make that proper. Do you put time in making a fire? I almost have no light left to make this shelter proper. So maybe the last bit of light we should use to try and make a fire. But if we not succeed, we need to have shelter, you know? It's almost completely dark. I was thinking to cover.
Good morning, folks. I got myself a nice reed blanket. I figured this was the most effective way to get this quick shelter done, just have myself covered in reed. Yeah, it was good. I'm dry. I wasn't too cold. No, I've been way colder in the past sleeping in those natural shelters without fire. There's mold all on top of my ceiling, and sometimes a bit of soil comes down, so that's lovely. Yeah, it's been drizzling all night a little bit, but no heavy rain yet. But the heavy rain might come. Get things going and get that fire going and a proper shelter. Yeah, and use my jacket as a little blankie. My firewood should be nice and dry behind there. Yeah, look.
You know, I'm gonna be here for a couple days, so you better make sure that in the beginning you have the best location. So that morning I took a little more time to properly look around for a better shelter location. And in fact I found something very covered that suited me better. It had a fallen log, so this I could use as a natural terrain feature, and it saves you a lot of time using those natural terrain features rather than building a shelter all from scratch, building the frame and everything. Rain, rain, rain. Water reed, definitely the material to go here to waterproof my shelter. It's easily harvestable in large quantities. Look how the drips slide over the reed leaves. Oh man, soaking wet. I think it will continue for the whole day. I'm happy I have my dry fire material, but even then, in this circumstances, it's tricky. Okay, in my old shelter, things start to leak here, and this is my firewood. This is not a good situation. I gotta move it to the new shelter, but how to do this without getting it wet? I found this yesterday, and here I probably can keep my stuff dry. Yay! The tinder, pick that up with stick, not get it wet. I think it's slowly time to hide underneath this and doing a bit of bow drill carving. But wish me luck, man. Under these circumstances, it's for no one easy. So good. Yeah, the problem is now, guys, if I'm not active, I'll get really cold in this wet. So I start with slowly warming up that bow drill set without giving much pressure or pace, barely any energy here, and then wait for the first smoke to arise. In this phase we're filling up the notch with dust, and we continue on so till the notch is properly filled, and then yeah, here's the moment I'm gonna give it my all to lighten that notch. Very close. Let us be blessed. At least it kind of stopped raining a bit. One really shouldn't underestimate how difficult the bow drill can be. In warmer climates, a bow drill can be very easy, but here the atmosphere is completely damp. And my theory on it is that under these circumstances, even if you have proper bow drill technique and you have decently dry materials, the bow drill is very hard and sometimes impossible. We've got a lot of brown dust, but it just doesn't ignite. Finally. Fix. Oh no, the thing started leaking here. Yeah, then I look back into my shelter, and right where my feather sticks are, I see drips coming down. Those feather sticks be soaking. Yeah, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen. And of course I tried to keep everything dry, and it was laying there under the log. It's supposed to be a dry place, but it wasn't. And this is your main tinder bundle, it's completely wet. Smooth. Oi, 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 oi. Yeah, now I'm here big time screwed. All my fire material used, no dry stuff anymore. I don't have fire. I don't have fire, I should start all over again. I'm soaking wet, so I'll be suffering big time over the night if I don't have my fire on today, folks. Big time screwed, big time screwed. So I make the choice here to use some of my emergency equipment. I of course have some first aid with me and also this firesteel just in case I really get into a survival situation. You know, it's not like the TV shows where people get a lot of money to do some surviving, you know. It really has to stay a little bit of fun. So I make the choice to use that firesteel. Disappointment to myself. Yeah, that's the way it has to go here. Okay, let's fill that up with some water. Things are stable at least. Man, it was rough. The rain today, mates. Oh my goodness. I was lucky at least it wasn't too cold today. Not below 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, this is boiling. I'd say that it be good. And it is still raining. Yeah, it's already late. It's unfortunate, but I picked some good sleep hours in the morning. But I have a lot of work to do, so rather not late. Funny head again. River is really high, what to be expected. For all this rain. It's more than 1.5 days now that I haven't eaten, and this morning for the first time I felt my energy levels have dropped significantly. It's really time for food, isn't it? Acorns, the nuts of the oak tree, are one of the most nutritious wild foods to be found, rich in starch and fat. Those carbs and fats are the hardest to find in the wilderness. Okay, let's boil that up. The quickest method to leach the acorns from their tannins is warm leaching. The acorns are boiled for a bit, after which the tannin containing brown turned water is drained and replaced with fresh boiling water. This is done a couple of times until the water stays clear and the acorns don't taste bitter anymore. Fresh warm pine needle tea. Life starts to be good. The rain keeps going. Yeah, I'd hoped to upgrade my shelter, but first of all, limit the time. Even today, didn't get much done. Second of all, reed is inaccessible. You remember where I gathered that reed earlier? No way I was gonna walk there again. I think since I started this challenge, the lake water level has risen maybe 1/2 meter. That's crazy, man, that's crazy. I made a very good decision to move shelter because, man, I'd be flooded out there. The old shelter completely flooded. Yikes. Nope, I gotta find myself a better solution for those glass. It broke. Okay, let's save the acorns. Yeah, sorry, the other battery died. But fire is going, so I'm gonna explore for some kind of metal container. We have to make pace. We got to get our firewood in time. But not much acorns here. No, no, no. Tricky, tricky. Yes! You hear what I hear? It's deer. It's the rutting season. The rut is the mating season of deer and certain other mammals, and the bucks make loud mating calls called belling. Maybe the best way to gather food now is actually to make a bow. But here in Ireland, bow hunting is illegal. It's no option. Okay, what I'm gonna do is offer my shirt here, and we're doing a method called cold bleaching. I guess it's better to have them a little finer. Okay, the acorns are in there. Let's hang it in the river.
Yeah, this container situation, that's a problem.
A crack in the bottle, that was expected. Okay, let's get it out of the fire.
You know, in previous Duo Survival, we made a burnout bowl to stone boil your water. Yeah, that's great, but that's also not very efficient. It's very time intensive. So I still think glass, despite the fact that there's chance of breaking, is more time efficient. It's too hot. Too hot.
Not as nice as the other hole, but hey. Okie dokie. So the paracord I have here is a very special one. It has fishing line in it. It has a fire tinder bundle thread in it, which can be used as a fire tinder. Of course, now this paracord is wet. I'm not sure, it likely doesn't work then, but let's see. This came out of about 6 meters of paracord. Just take about half a meter.
Ooh. Well, it burns good, doesn't it?
I have paracord now, the same paracord as my bootlaces, so that can be handy. Especially the fishing line. Can we pull this out all the way? Okay, this is the fire making strand. The fishing line. I didn't assemble fishing line on this hobo reel, but just used the inner paracord strand, as this lure could potentially catch a pike, and I thought they will be less likely to bite through this than actual fishing line. Last Duo Survival, we didn't bring any fishing equipment, but now with me being alone, really time consuming. I at least brought some this paracord and a few hooks. And some secret needy tricks in the back here. Yeah, hobo reels are made. One with a lure and one for worms with a float. Now I'm gonna acorns. And in the afternoon, towards the evening, will be fishing time. Well, we got jackpot. Yeah, crazy how little acorns I could find for the amount of efforts I did looking for them. In other years, you'd be scooping them up from the forest floor. Oak trees can produce up to 6,000 kilograms or 12,000 pounds of acorns per hectare. Now something here is definitely eating all of those acorns. Because I see a lot more of the caps, you see, but no acorns. Ooh, yes! Here behind my camp, I'm finding the most so far. So these acorns had fallen during this windy day here, and I think it's obvious why there were only acorns laying around my camp. Because with me being here, it's the only place in the whole forest where the wildlife hasn't been today. Many wildlife species such as deer, squirrels and jays eat acorns. The amount of acorns that are produced in a certain year, especially the bad years, can have a significant effect on the wildlife population, as many of these species are quite dependent on acorns to stock up on enough reserves to make it through the winter. Okay folks, time for a little expedition, exploring for food sources. Yeah. Hey, a worm. What about that guy? Is he dead? Or is he pretending to be dead? I'll leave you to it, buddy. Take care. Worms, 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 worms. I was gonna be happy with the camera that the sun was out, but it already started raining again. The funny hat. I just don't feel comfortable filming myself with this thing on. But hey, my body has settled in with not getting any food, so I feel fit and strong. And my belly also calmed down, not craving for a bit of food. Let's taste. I don't taste much bitterness anymore. Means they're good. So tasty. Chew properly, Julius. Chew properly. This stuff can go in here. Love it. I love it. No. I do remember now, this does actually come straight out of this river. So potentially there could be bacteria in there. I got a little cutting board here. I'm gonna cut them a little finer. Okay, that's it. We're going that way. Reed lands everywhere. Will be very hard to fish from. Besides hoping to find some good survival plants like cattail, the main goal of this exploring trip was finding a good fishing spot. I did bring my crafted hobo reels with me and the worms I collected earlier today as bait. Yeah, considering the fishing situation, I have two possibilities to fish, either in the lake or on the river. The river will be mainly brown trout, but the trout season is over, so I can't really catch any trout. So I figured I better go for the lake. It's quite typical many times here when I do such a survival challenge. The lake is so inaccessible. You have reed fells really all along the banks and the shoreline of the lake. And over there, somewhere in the middle, is my camp. Full of watercress. Also some water mint. Oh, strong. Just a little snack, eh? Let's carry on. Look at this tree. Lime tree. Basswood. Leaves are edible. They're very salad-like, very juicy. No bitterness. It's nice. You know, I could spend time making a salad and everything, but a salad ain't gonna save the day in the bush concerning kilocalories. But I think I do gonna harvest some stinging nettles. Let me at least harvest some of them. Oh, I got stung there too quickly. Take them at the base and don't touch the rest of your hand. Often it's pretty fine. At least you are good for something, my dear head. Okay, let's head home. It's getting dark. Back to camp. I hope the fire didn't go out. Yes, we got coals. Yes. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, we need to get firewood. My acorns, yes, it's a long process, I know. So I'm giving my acorns one more boil, just to be sure. I'll tannin this out, and because it's been the stream, to disinfect it properly. Yeah, I know I already ate some over there, but nevertheless, I need my funny hat. My funny hat, it turned out to be handy. The stem is too thin. Yeah, stinging nettles definitely part of the top 5 survival plants. What have we more? Cattail, nuts, oak, hazel, beech. Oh yeah, don't forget the burdock. Okay, fill that up with water and slowly boil it. Maybe it might take an hour, but at least I hope the glass doesn't shred again. My body has adapted, it seems, to being without food. I felt good. It's breaking off the fats, the little fats I have. Yeah, lens is drying here. Has been a bit of a trouble filming recently. Well, this afternoon they were already yummy. Can only get better now. They were better this afternoon. They're actually still a bit bitter. Got 2 bottles. One is the mint tea and the other one is the spruce needle tea. Which is better? Nice. That was the fir tea. Yeah, that's the winner. Mint is the winner today. And then it's time for the nettle soup. Strong. It tastes very healthy. That is what it tastes like. Okay folks, good night. It's a brittle gill. It's a bit old, but I think it will do. With the lake not being accessible, it had to be the river for fishing. It was hard to find a good spot to cast from the bank. Thick bushes and debris obstructed pretty much this whole stretch of river, while the opposite bank was open, but only accessible by wading or a journey upstream to a crossing. Eventually I did find an okay spot. I lost the worms. Rain. So today's setup: worm in a sinker which can slide over the line, and this guy. I see some mess up there. People messing around. Let's have a look. Might that be useful? Holy moly! What a find! I found a raft, that one. Holy mickus moly. Please hold. This is a Gefixt raft. Ho ho ho! Precisely what I need. Look at it. Yay! I used to make these as a little child, and I remember four of them jerry cans should hold a person at least, maybe more. Maybe 2 children at the time. So we're missing one more jerry can, and then we have access to better fishing areas. Exciting, exciting. Okay folks, let's get going. I found a raft now, you gotta be kidding me. I found a jerry can. It's all the way over there in the swamp. The water level used to be way lower, all the way to the reed. You remember when I harvested the reed there? But it came up, so we'll see if that's still accessible. At least this is very close to camp, so I can immediately dry my feet at the fire. Into the swamp we go. Man, that water level has raised like crazy. There she is. Hello. Nice one. Yeah, so as I said, it doesn't have a cap. It's a bit messy here. It ain't pretty, but hopefully it keeps us afloat. Yeah, and it's also the end of my baton. Yeah, I hope to make this out of a seasoned wood, so if it gets wet it will extend, it will get even more tight, but this birch I found here, it is quite fresh still, but it should be fine. No. Ah, there's a crack in it. And I didn't see that earlier on. Dang it. So that ain't working. Dang it. Folks, I'm having a bit of a down moment. Really feel my energy levels have dropped at the moment. But keep going. Things go a little more slow only. Honey fungus, but we're too late. That would have been a feast. Yeah, mushroom season is on this end. It's a pity. But yeah, it's important to know what you're picking. The shaggy ink cap. Only the young ones, without any sign yet of their black ink, can be eaten after cooking them properly. They can be distinguished from common ink caps by their more shaggy appearance, with scales textured caps. Every day I do my round through the forest, collecting some scarce acorns. Today my two greatest competitors got confronted with me. Yeah, the ones I put in yesterday aren't properly leached yet. I make them finer for today's batch. But it means a lot of extra cutting work again. I think the acorns should have been more finer even. The finest I would be able to get them. I did have the idea to still craft a pestle and a mortar to grind my acorns fine. But you know, it was limited time. The time went so fast, you know. Ow. Instead of cold leaching the previous batch of acorns for a day longer, I decided to bring them with me to camp and try the warm leaching method again. I got 2 cups on the side of the fire and alternately boiled the acorns in those 2 cups and drained the tannin containing water. With the warm leaching method, after draining the acorns for another round of leaching, you can't directly put the acorns in fresh cold water. The rapid temperature change will bind the tannins and the acorns will never lose their bitterness. So I had to boil the acorns in one of my cups, drain the water, and then put the acorns in another cup with already boiling water in it. Yeah, that's today's dinner. Not too shabby, but I hope for some fish.
Yeah, folks, I need my head torch to film this properly. The fire is too hot, but yet it doesn't give enough light.
Man, I have been hassling without a head torch in the outdoors overnight. You have to carefully plan your night routine. Have your firewood at hand, because if the fire goes out, you can't see nothing.
Yeah, I took my head torch out, folks. Otherwise it gets too annoying to film this all. I am enjoying the feast. The crispy ones especially. Very nice. And the mushrooms. Well, they tell you with the honey fungus, you only eat the caps, not the stem. But I tell you in survival, you better eat the stem too. And I don't mind the stem. It's not so chewy. And then this, I tell you, this is less pleasant, but at least it fills the belly. People in the world, they do eat stinging nettle soup. I guess they take another recipe. I'm not enjoying that, no. Yeah, I'm gonna wish you good night. And also the fire is struggling. Gotta fix it. And it starts raining, dang it.
During the nights, it was definitely very intensive to keep that fire going. Every 2 hours you have to put stuff on your fire and keep it going, and you've burned through a lot of firewood. You know, I don't really have the option to make a long log fire, which burns very efficient, because I don't really have a cutting tool to cut the right size firewood and stuff.
Dry. Okay, let's prep things up for fishing. No way, Ouwe! How did you find me so easily? We got rescue coming in.
Are we live?
I think we are.
There he is, in his grotto, man.
The rescue has come in all of a sudden.
What's up, man? There you go, mate.
But how did you come here so quickly?
Ah, sure. I smelled the campfire.
You look fancy, man.
Yeah, man. This guy, first time out.
You look like you proper rescue dude. Doesn't my hair look rough?
Your hair wouldn't be the worst. You're just a bit rough looking overall, man. But it's all...
Am I?
You could say you look like you've been in the bush for nearly a week. Hey, how have you been, man? I like your shelter setup, man.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you think people want to see big shelters, you know? That's...
I know, sure, but like this is way less effort.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. I had one the first day, another one, which is by now is flooded.
Oh, no way. Yeah. You are in a little bit of a dip.
Yeah, it is very windproof here.
And then you have that wall there.
Uh-huh. It's remarkable. Time flies so fast. I want to do so much more things.
and crafts and stuff. And the acorn process, man, this was a bit underestimated. And
Hey, I'm gonna have a beer, mate.
maybe I should also open my beer.
You'll get drunk. No, I was thinking, will I bring you a banana or a beer? I was like, it have to be a beer. Cheers. Nice one, man. I didn't expect this, man. I expected a bit more of an opening with a little, like, built shelter.
It tastes so good.
And what is this, man?
Yeah, these are my oak acorns.
So this is what you've been eating.
It is a long process, so I only got my first batch in on day
Wow.
3.
And before that?
I was only fighting the rain and the I had no time to eat. I was only fighting the rain and my thirst. Good fix. And then the 4th day I was really happy. I started to enjoy it, and on yesterday it became very tough again.
Ready to leave?
Uh-huh.
Alright. After you, man. This place is dense, man. It's nice. Huh? I came over this. Yeah, I came over this.
Ja, hier heb ik nou veel zin in. En lekker even peddelen. My raft, I found somewhere there in those bushes there.
Wow.
What a valuable experience it was. This was way more than just making a YouTube film. Of course, there were the difficult moments, but overall, I felt I never really suffered. I felt in the moment, connected with nature, doing my routines to live in this forest for 6 days. For just 6 days. I do have to say that I hope to get more done in those 6 days. Some proper crafts, catch a fish, but also the circumstances were pretty difficult. I knew already in advance that the fishing situation was not gonna be very good here in autumn, definitely. You do feel restricted in a way, in the sense that this is a very tiny forest in a very civilized world. In the end, I came home full of new energy and inspiration. Take care about nature. Coming up, an all-new bushcraft survival adventure. Julius gets dropped again in this same forest for a 3-day redemption attempt. This time, he better gets a raft going and catch some fish. See you on the next video. Subscribe for the medieval living experience. Continuously staying in the roundhouse for 60 days. Without smartphone, internet or grocery store. And only with historically accurate clothing and gear.